speaking as a parent of a younger child that actually plays with Michigan Jaguars as well, I think the answer of why here over somewhere else is an easy one. I think we have extremely experienced coaches working with our youngest players. We know the importance of teaching the players the fundamental and then the key parts of the game at those youngest age groups that they can then build upon as they get through the older age groups. So having experienced coaches, experienced in that they're experienced working with children at that age, experienced with their educational background. You know, we've got so many teachers on staff that understand the pedagogy of players that age, and we have former college coaches working with players that age, so coaches who know what it looks like at that next level potentially. So as a parent of a player in those age groups, I think I'd put our staff against anyone's in the region. We've got a tremendous depth and wealth of knowledge, and I think that those coaches provide an experience that is unrivaled.
Truthfully, the Jaguars is home for me. It was a club that has been around my entire life. Growing up playing the game of soccer, for me, throughout the club level, throughout the collegiate level, the Jaguars is always a club that was close to me, especially growing up. I knew a lot of staff coaches that were at the club. So when I got into coaching, a lot of those familiar people were still around, and they truly make it feel at home for me. And I truly feel like it's a family, and I can't express all the leaders and role models that I've had throughout my coaching career that are Jags coaches. And I can proudly say that I am where I am because of the people that are in this club.
Michigan Jaguars was a club I was very aware of when I worked elsewhere. It was a club that was doing all the right things from an outsider's point of view, and when I was given the opportunity to come work with Michigan Jaguars, it was a no-brainer. It was a club that was on the up, that was impressing me, you know, regardless of the level of the team in terms of the coach conduct, the player conduct, the parent conduct. It was just something that I immediately wanted to be a part of, and I was very fortunate to be given the opportunity.
I think the Jaguars is a place for players to play because we offer a lot of levels for kids to play at different levels, right? I think we have a home for every kid that wants to play soccer. I think the Jaguars offer a great experience for players to enjoy the game of soccer, to hopefully fill them with passion and love for the game, and also try to teach them lessons of life and things that they can carry on and off the field. I think the Jaguars have a great coaching staff that care about every single player and their development growing.
I think why a parent would want to send their child here is we offer levels of play for all players, regardless of a skill level or ability. We've got a place to play for everyone, and we've got multiple pathways, across different leagues. So starting at 3 years old, we've got our soccer stars, our Jaguar Cubs program, going all the way through to our, I apologize, I'll check the name, UWS or MWPL teams, which are our men's and women's team, and everything in between. We've got MLS Next on the boys' side. We have Girls Academy on the girls' side for the highest level players looking to take their game potentially into a professional pathway. We've got a place to play for every single player and help them reach their goals, playing in high school, playing collegiately, playing professionally.
No, I think one of the most important things is I think it's always important to win, right? And there's a quote that I love that winning, it's not all about winning, but I think winning is more fun. But I think as well, I think the lessons that you learn from winning and losing also tie in together, right? I think winning is very important, but I think the development of our players and teaching them right from wrong and the correct ways to play, but I also think losing is always important as well, because without losing, you can't go back and reflect and you can't learn from those mistakes. And I think losing sometimes is what helps you develop and become a better player and a better coach and a better team. So yes, I think winning is important. I don't think it's the most important thing. I think as the Jaguars and as a coach myself, I want the players to love playing the game, want them to develop. And sometimes when you lose, it's a blessing in disguise. And without those moments, it's tough to grow from. So I think sometimes losing is tough to handle, but I think in the end, it's what makes us better.
we have a strong belief that everything's earned. Starting opportunities, playing times earned. Obviously, at the developmental ages, all players are going to get those opportunities, and we're going to make sure that players get a chance to play different positions on the field to sort of challenge their development, to give them some different things to think about, knowing that development is not linear and that coaches are going to see different things in different players, and make sure that we give them the experience that they can build off of as they get older. But in terms of playing time, certainly as players get older, we challenge players to take responsibility for their own playing time. That means their commitment level, being physically present, but also being present within each activity, within training.
We understand that tryouts is a tough weekend for parents, for players. It's very hard for us as coaches as well. I think it's a very hard time of the year for us because we care about all the players that we coach. We care about all the parents, right? And especially if you've been coaching that player for years or however long you've been with that player. I think at the end of the day, as coaches, what we want is the best environment for your child. We want the players to be in the correct team, in the correct area where they're going to be successful. We want your kids to continue to enjoy playing soccer. I think sometimes the parents have a big role in how your kid's career can go. I think after tryouts, you can be upset with the decision that you had, or you can be happy. I can, be completely honest and speak on players that have made teams that they didn't want to be on and have came back the next year and proved us wrong. And they've taken that moment to use that to grow, not only as a player, but as a person. And they've worked hard and they've came back the next year and been a better player than they were the year before. So I always think that there's moments for parents and players to take tryout weekend and use it in a positive.
So within our 10 locations, again, we have different levels of play depending on what players are looking for. Each branch will have teams that will play locally within the state of Michigan, depending on the age level. And then our central location, based out of Toll Sports Wixom, is where we host our MLS Next, our Girls Academy, our NAL, which is a new league, National Academy League, on the boys' side, and Girls Academy Rising, GAR, central programs. Those teams are for players from across all branches of the club that will compete at a national level. So, with open training, it's a chance to meet the coaches that are on staff, some of the other players, some of the families that are involved in the club. I definitely recommend, as a family from outside the club, to chat to some of the parents on the sideline, see what their experience is, and get some feedback there. And I think when you come to our open training, that will give you a good idea of what you'd be committing to for the next year. In terms of tryout weekend, obviously it takes place Saturday, Sunday. Again, each location will have different times for different age groups. Again, our website has all that information. It's important that you register for tryouts ahead of tryout weekend. It's non-binding, but it's an opportunity to get all your name information there so that when you check in at the site on Saturday morning, on Sunday morning, it's a very quick process for you. If you don't register ahead of time, then it'll take a little bit longer just to get all the paperwork sorted before you step on the field. When you get to the field, you're going to be met by staff and coaches that are involved in the age group, as well as support staff that will be there to help run the tryout, to allow the coaches that are selecting the teams to focus on player selection and do the analysis from the sideline. And it'll be different coaches that will be actually running their training.
I think when being on the field, as coaches, as players, as parents, I think the word that comes to me right away is respect. Right. I think we have to respect the game. I think we have to love the game. And I think coming with that is how we handle ourselves as coaches, how we handle ourselves as players, and most importantly with parents as well. I think it's very important that the message that we send out to our kids is to respect the opponent, respect our teammates, respect our coach, respect referees, understand that things might not go our way, and that's okay. And I think those are moments for us to learn through the game, right? Things aren't going to go as planned all the time. I think how we react as coaches, I think how we react as parents on the sideline reflects on our kids and our club as well. So I think the message for parents always is to the kids is to, I always say it to my teams before the whistle blows in games. I just say work hard and have fun, because I think that's what's important, is to go out there, work hard, have fun, and have respect, right? I've told parents and my players I've never seen referees change calls or make a mistake and reverse it because we all yelled and people didn't like the call. So I think our expectations as well as parents is to send the kids out with a clear message that to have fun, to work hard, and to enjoy the moments that they are out on the field. I think that's the thing that we lose sometimes the sight of in competitions and things. We have to enjoy those moments that we're there, and take it all in and enjoy that we're there to compete, whether it's in state cups, whether it's in MLS Next games, whether it's in regional championships, whatever they may be, to really take in those moments and just reflect and really take in that moment and enjoy every second that you're out on that field.
I can't speak highly enough of the coaches that are involved. Obviously, with an organisation of our size, we've got a ton of coaches, ton of different backgrounds, experiences. Playing the game, playing for Michigan Jaguars in the past as a player, as well as playing at all sorts of levels across the world. We've got coaches that are involved in high school, which is great that the players have that experience of knowing their future high school coaches, as well as college coaches that can help them with the recruiting process if that's something that they're interested in. But I mean, for me, one of the things I take most satisfaction with is the players that graduate, staying in touch with them and where they continue to keep playing at whatever level, and seeing them in the men's leagues, the women's leagues, still playing in the summer leagues, and just kind of constantly staying involved with the game.
I think we're a club that always accepts players that are willing to come in and to work hard and to give every training session everything that they have, and to work hard in games and to be committed throughout the whole year, not only to themselves and to their coach, but their team. And I think, I speak on behalf of everybody in our staff, and especially for myself. I think honesty is the best way to go about things. And sometimes it's fair to the player, and it's not fair to the player or not fair to the parents for me to give them wishy-washy answers. And I know all of our coaches feel that same way. So I think when you come to the Jags, you're coming into a club that does things a certain way and follows a certain pathways, and now offers levels of platforms where players can play at every competitive level they want, from 4v4 to 7v7 to 9v9 to 11v11. So I think when you come to our club, you get full honesty with us, right? When we pay you that respect, and we want players that come in that are going to do everything that they can to be successful as players and as individuals, and also be successful for their team and their teammates. We want players that are going to be here and that want to play and that are going to enjoy it and going to be happy. And if certain players don't want to be part of what we're trying to build here at the Jaguars, that's okay as well. But I think we're very proud of the name that we wear and the badge that we have on our jerseys. And this is the way that we do things. And if you want to be a part of it, that's awesome.